Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to be talking about 5 books that I hope are 5 stars. These are books that I hope end up being 5 stars. I think they have the best potential out of all the books on my TBR to get 5 stars, whether that be because of books I've read previously in the series or read from this author before or previously. That's the main gist of these books. My rating system is not a very strict rating system, I guess you could say. I kind of use the CAWPILE rating system that was designed by G over at Book Roast. I'm a very easy to please reader, honestly. Most books get at least 3 stars, if not in the 4 to 5 star range. That could be because I just know what I like, and I'm also easy to please. Recently, it's been getting a little bit harder to get 5 stars in my rating system, I guess. There have been a lot of 4.5 stars, but I think I've only had like 3 or 4 actual solid 5 stars. The book just has to give me this very specific feeling, honestly, and not too much has done that this year, but a lot has gotten close. These are books that I'm hoping will go past that close to 5 stars and will give me that wonderful, amazing feeling that a 5-star book does. I guess we could just get started with the first one here on top of the stack, and that is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the 3rd book in the Mistborn series. I've only read the first one, and I do hope the second one gets 5 stars, but I feel like this one is more likely to get 5 stars in my opinion, just because I did enjoy The Final Empire, which I think got a 4.5, was one of those barely just missed out. But this book has such a reputation for having a very good ending, like one of the best endings people have ever read in a series, and I'm hoping that's not overhyping it for me. I'm very intrigued to see what that is all about, and I'm hoping that the book feels the same way for me, because I feel like if it has one of the best endings I've ever read in a series, then there's no question about it, that would be a 5 stars. If you don't know what The Hero of Ages is about, or the Mistborn trilogy, the original 3 books, they are about these people called Mistborns or Mistings in this world. Basically, you can ingest metals that give you powers, specific powers, and Mistborns can ingest all of the metals and have all of the powers. The Final Empire, the first book, follows our main character Kelsier, who is one of these Mistborn, and he is this infamous thief in the capital city, I guess the capital city. It follows him present day as he's trying to get another crew together for another job. And we meet all kinds of interesting characters, all kinds of Mistings and Mistborns, and dive more into the world of what being a Mistborn actually means. And his job has to do with this infamous Lord Ruler, who has been this evil, basically dictator in power for the last 1,000 years. So we're figuring out what that's all about, how Kelsier is gonna do this job, what the job is. I really enjoyed the whole story. I loved meeting those characters. The lore and the world building was fantastic, and I've heard the first one reads slightly different than the rest of the series just because there's a big heist plot point that we're focused on in the first novel. So I'm super excited to see where the series continues on, hoping this one lives up to that 5 star and that amazing ending that I've heard so much about. Apologies for the lighting change. The sun is going in and out behind the clouds and coming back out, but what am I supposed to do? The next book is in a similar vein, I guess you could say. It's one of those really popular fantasy authors that I've read one series from before. I've read the Farseer trilogy, and I cannot believe I haven't continued on with The Realm of the Elderlings yet. So my next book that I really hope is going to get 5 stars is Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This, I know, is some people's favorite series in the entirety of The Realm of the Elderlings. This is the 2nd trilogy, like I said, following the first Fitz trilogy, and this one ventures out into the rest of the world more than just the Fitz perspective that we've seen. This, what I know, basically is about these ships that after 3 generations of a family die on board, the ship comes to life. And that is all I know about it. That is all I want to know about it before I dive into it. These are some thick books, and honestly, I feel like a chunky book is more likely to get 5 stars in my opinion, just because I love the substance. I love getting to know everything I possibly can about the characters, everything I possibly can about the world, and this is going to just add to what we already know from the Farseer trilogy. I don't really want to read what the back says just because I feel like it can spoil major plot points over halfway into the book. I really enjoyed Robin Hobb's writing in the first trilogy I read, so really excited to dive into this one as soon as I possibly can. Moving on to a different genre, my next 5-star prediction is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is Emily Henry's third adult romance novel, I believe, and I've given both of the other ones 5 stars. And honestly, reading the synopsis of this one and the title of this one, I feel like this one is one of the most likely ones to get 5 stars from me. It is about our main character Nora, who is a literary agent, and she goes on vacation to this summer-ish quaint little town in North Carolina with her sister, and there she meets her basically arch nemesis, this other literary agent, I believe, and I'm pretty sure it's an enemies to lovers story set in a small town about books, involving books. I really don't know a good summary of this plot. I know I've enjoyed everything else Emily Henry has written that is similar to this. I haven't read her young adult stuff, I believe. I absolutely devoured Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation, so I'm hoping this gives me those exact same feelings because I loved those books, loved those characters, loved the stories she crafted. I love her writing. I'm hoping to get to this one as soon as I can. Hopefully this month. It's on the TBR, but we'll see. The next book I hope to give 5 stars is a middle grade. It is the third one in a series, and it is the most recently published one, and that is Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. I read Nevermore back in May, I believe, and I'm currently reading Wondersmith, that's what the title of it is, and I'm loving it so much. These books have some of my favorite tropes in them, like a game slash quest slash trials kind of thing, and a school setting. I don't know what else I could want more. I love the actual setting that the main character lives in. The Hotel Deucalion, I think is the name of it. It's just so magical and mystical and wonderful. It's filled with some of my favorite things ever. I love the world building. I love learning everything I possibly can, which is why I love those class settings. And we're learning it right along with our main character, Morgan. The first book follows Morgan Crow, who is known as a cursed child. So basically, she brings ill circumstances to anyone around her. Anyone who even glances her way could befall a negative circumstance. She was born on Eventide night, I believe, and so on Eventide of her 11th birthday, she is destined to die. However, this man, Jupiter North, arrives and whisks her away to the wondrous world of Nevermore, where he becomes her patron in her trials to become a member of the Wondrous Society. Like I said, I absolutely adored Nevermore, and I'm equally loving Wondersmith just as much. So, and I gave Nevermore a 5 stars, and Wondersmith is looking just like a 5 stars, so I really do expect this one to get 5 stars as well. Middle grade is just so fun and wonderful, and like I said, I just love learning every little thing I possibly can about this world. This is one of the magical worlds that I would love to visit. I think it would be so fun to live at the hotel with Morgan, to visit the Wondrous Society and see the different levels, sub-levels, and take classes with her and do all kinds of fun things. I know this is going to be a longer series. This is only the 3rd one. The 4th one comes out later this year, but I'm hoping to enjoy every book as much as I loved Nevermore. And yeah, hoping this one gets a 5 star. The last book I have here is The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to The Inheritance Games, which is a book I read in 2021. I think it was 2020, in the very end of 2020. That was one of my favorite books of 2020. It got a 5 star if I recall correctly, and I'm hoping this one has the exact same vibes. The Inheritance Games has big Knives Out vibes to it. It's about our main character, I believe her name is Avery, and one day she receives a letter letting her know that she has inherited this fortune from a mysterious man who she doesn't know, never knew existed. The catch to the fortune is that she has to live at his house where his grandsons and children reside for a certain amount of time in order to receive that fortune. But of course, his family also wants that fortune and wants to know why this random girl from the middle of nowhere was the one to receive it. And it's full of all kinds of puzzles and games and mysteries because that's what the Mysterious Benefactor loved, was all of his little riddles and puzzles, and I just loved solving all of those with Avery, and I love the characters that we were introduced to. So I'm hoping this one gives me the same exact feelings as the Hawthorne or the Inheritance games, and I'm hoping to enjoy this one just because the final one is coming out I think in August, so next couple months, and I'm super intrigued to get to that one and finish up the trilogy. So there you have it, everyone. Those are 5 books that I hope are going to get 5 stars. I'm really hoping that I'm correct on all of these. Like, as I said, most of them are sequels to books that have gotten 5 stars or close to 5 stars, or books from authors that I've previously given their books 5 stars. So it's not really too much of a wild guess. You never know what's gonna happen. But that is all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought, and I will see you with another video soon. Bye!